So otro más. Wait, that means another one more? No, uno más.
No, one more.
Nice move, Andrade. You've got to assert dominance over your girlfriend's dad. Even when he's Ric Flair. Andrade versus the Nature Boy will presumably never happen. Instead, it looks like we're getting something far more controversial. Disgraced former WWE star Alberto Del Rio, who now wrestles under the name Alberto El Patron, made a surprise appearance at the Rubles promotion show in Texas last night. According to F4W Online's daily update, a tall masked man came out after a rare El Hijo del Santo tag match and then revealed himself to be Alberto. The live report from the show described the reaction to Del Rio as mixed, but mostly flat and awkward. Del Rio reportedly then cut a promo to hype his match against Andrade, who is wrestling under his La Sombra name on July 31st, in a co-promotion between Alberto and the Rubles Federation. The mixed, awkward reaction to Del Rio from the crowd is hardly surprising, as he's currently awaiting trial for 1 count of aggravated kidnapping and 4 counts of sexual assault. Del Rio has also previously been accused of abuse by former WWE star Paige after their several years together. Sentences for aggravated kidnapping can be as severe as life in prison. The trial, which has already been postponed twice, will now be starting on August 2nd. The victim apologized over social media to Alberto and his family for putting them through this, and Alberto's brother called the charges false. Do you think any wrestling promotions or wrestlers should be working with Alberto while he awaits trial? Let me know in the comments down below. Over to much nicer wrestling-specific returns, we've had another tease that Becky Lynch could be coming back soon. It's been just over a year since Becky relinquished her Raw Women's Championship due to baby, and since giving birth last December, she's now been spotted in potentially in-ring shape in a training photo on Seth Rollins' Instagram. Becky has some serious abs in the photo, which is pretty amazing considering how recently she became unpregnant. A Becky return was rumoured for WrestleMania 37, where it was reported she would be making some kind of appearance in a giant truck. But these plans were scrapped in favour of the Bella Twins beating up Bayley. Definitely worth it. And Becky's not the only WWE return potentially happening. As PW Insider is reporting, Hall of Famer Molly Holly was backstage at last night's Raw to try out as a new producer. Molly was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame at WrestleMania 37, with her last in-ring appearance coming in the 2020 Women's Royal Rumble. She openly criticised WWE for cutting her Hall of Fame acceptance speech, admitting she cried for hours after it happened. But it seems she's now back on good terms with the company. Having then experienced last night's episode of Raw up close, however, I'm assuming she walked right back out and drove away as far as she could. Because it was a rubbish show again. Here's my review of it in about 5 minutes. Raw opened on the totally normal commentary team of Corey Graves, Byron Saxton, and Jimmy Smith. What are you talking about? Jimmy Smith has always been Raw's lead play-by-play announcer. We're gonna need a bigger boat. And Miz only ever had to take time off due to a normally sustained injury. Not because he was eaten by zombies at one of the worst pay-per-view matches of the year. He and a garlic-covered John Morrison because comedy hosted Charlotte Flair for Miz TV, which was all a setup for apparent babyface Rhea Ripley to continue being unlikable, and another beat the clock challenge, this time of Charlotte Flair against Nikki Cross, where Nikki ran away and won by not being beaten. The sweetest of victories. This was repetitive and rubbish. Thankfully, everything Randy and Matt Riddle touch turns to bro. Even Damian Priest, who has seemingly been dropped from all main roster storylines for having the gall to not be Bad Bunny. Priest taught Riddle some Spanish, which somehow wasn't annoying, and Randy Orton appeared from outer the right of the shot to say he was proud of his bros RKO the previous week. Riddle then watched at ringside for Randy's match, who showed more fire against Xavier Woods than he did in his entire Fiend feud, which actually involved literal fire, and he won with Riddle's finisher Bro Derek, just stopped short of doing the dual pose. This terrifically well-paced story continues to be by far the best thing on Raw. And whatever Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax are doing continues to be the worst. After an attempt at acting between Reginald and Nia Jax backstage, where I think Nia is meant to be showing love or something towards him, Reginald then took on Shayna Baszler in a match. Reggie's Cirque du Soleil background always makes for some impressive flips, but I've got no time for that anywhere near Shayna's legit character. He even got in a fair bit of offense and ended up winning with yet another piece of spooky pyro. Mace and T-Bar are still doing their silly Batman voices. And then beat the short Lucha House Party to make them look even bigger. What's most notable in all of this though is that Jimmy Smith, who's definitely always been on Raw commentary, said that both Mace and T-Bar are 6'7", the forbidden height that Vince McMahon has allegedly banned anyone from being. WrestleTalk would like to wish Jimmy Smith well in all his future endeavors. Gangs of New Sheamus said Ricochet and Alberto Carrillo aren't worthy of becoming US champion, and I believe him because he's beaten them both already. Clean. Multiple times. Barely an inconvenience, sometimes not even with his finisher. To further assert his dominance, he tried to beat them both back to back, but Carrillo helped Ricochet win the first with a distraction roll-up, and then accidentally busted open Sheamus's face with a forearm, causing blood to awesomely pour all over Sheamus's chest. And then Carrillo also won with a distraction roll-up. The in-ring action is fantastic, everything else sucks. Evolution is still coming soon. Kevin Dunn, meanwhile, is still coming now. Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose beat Naomi and Lana while the tag champions Tamina and Natalya were on commentary. This was significantly better than usual, mainly thanks to the horrid booking around Jackson Baszler being somewhere else. Bad Bunny spoke about WWE to LeBron James on an HBO show, so you better believe WWE are gonna play a clip of it. WWE come off as so desperate here. Oh my god, what's that? Megan just posted a holiday photo of us together. Cedric Alexander faced Shelton Benjamin for the third time in 4 weeks, and won with a thumb to the eye. And one of the weakest first title feuds ever for new champions. AJ Styles and Omos got a full title defense against Elias and Jackson Ryker. AJ got worked over to build to a tall tag, different to a hot tag, from Omos, who annihilated Ryker, and Elias ran away. Omos once again looked great. That was sincere, that came out sarcastic weirdly. It's just that Raw does that to me. And presumably putting an end to this random pointless feud, Elias broke up with Ryker in a post-match interview, saying that Ryker was just too unhinged. Now they can have their own singles feud nobody will care about. Alexa started interviewing Reginald in her Playground segment, but Shayna laid him out to chat.
Answer your question. Interviewing. A guide for journalists and writers was published on the 1st of March 2002.
Bliss even annoys me when I'm recording the news. Muted that. You would think I would have learnt that by now, after a year. Alexa started interviewing Reginald in her Playground segment, but Shayna Baszler laid him out to challenge Bliss to a match next week, and then cut a promo on a doll. Legit MMA fighter Shayna Baszler. Longest combined days as NXT champion Shayna Baszler. The person who eliminated everyone in the chamber that one time, Shayna Baszler. Cutting a promo on a doll. This company. Mansoor got a pep talk from the Viking Raiders, and then Mustafa Ali told him not to trust anyone. And the main event saw Kofi Kingston in an awesome Green Ranger outfit, Kofi heel turn confirmed, going against Drew McIntyre, who wasn't dressed as any of the Power Rangers. Drew McIntyre heel turn confirmed, with the winner getting to face Bobby Lashley at Hell in a Cell. Bobby was, of course, banned from interfering this time, so he took the opportunity to awkwardly dance with his women backstage, who MVP has explained to a fan on Twitter aren't whores. But Tony, she was a hooer, because we left your mother and sisters on the corner. Take that, fan. They're not your sisters, they're Bobby's sisters. Drew and Kofi predictably had some great in-ring action, like McIntyre catching a trust fall to the outside and a spinning Future Shock DDT. But I saw them go 20 minutes just last week, which undermines the excitement here. The final few minutes were really good with a Trouble in Paradise counter on a Claymore attempt, but Drew finally hit one midair to win. Kofi respectfully shook Drew's hand afterwards, but I don't think anyone is excited for yet another McIntyre title shot. Let me know what you thought of Raw in the comments down below. 63% of you are still so into Randy Orton doing a Bro Derek, you went for that over Shayna Baszler feuding with a puppet. This wasn't as bad as last week's episode, but this episode was still very, very bad by any normal standards of decency. Repetitive, illogical, frustrating, creatively unfulfilling. The in-ring action is generally good, RK Bro is terrific, and Jimmy Smith was okay on commentary. As he should be, he's been there for years. But it wasn't enough to give this Raw any more than 2 out of 5.
Hi there, I'm everyone who's ever written a list about tag team matches in WWE. Here are some of my favourite: TLC 2, Triple H and Austin vs Benoit and Jericho, Edge and Mysterio vs Angle and Benoit, The Wyatts vs The Shield, The Rhodes vs The Shield, DIY vs The Revival, 2 out of 3 falls. All of these matches are great, of course, no complaints there, but the internet can be a bit of a small place with the same topics repeating over and over,